You need them because
See, that's
without
what
him,
they're going to do if we hire them. Right now.
So
you know,
the point of the legislation is that we have to have permission to be able to, they have to,
have
in
a
order to
contract.
be able to do what they're doing, which is the public outreach, all of these bullet
You better
points,
put on 3
MCM
votes.
1 through 6, we have to pass this legislation so that they're now enabled to perform that task that you want.
health,
And to go with
safety,
that,
and welfare
Councilman
people.
Martin, and I think you may remember this, we're now, since we passed the others legislation, with the sewer district, we're now bound to do these 6 bullet points.
As well as with the
And I'm not knocking that.
So we
I
do
just want to
have
know
that
what
deadline to do it.
I want
Which
to
is the
deal with this
28th.
thing intelligently. Yeah, today is only the 3rd. Let's
So
just
you
get them
wanna
out of
table
here.
it? You like
No,
you're
no,
saying
I-
table
I-
it?
I'm
no,
saying,
no,
Is that what you're
well,
saying?
you saying act on it now?
I know, we're not acting on anything. All we're
Okay.
doing is moving it out of this committee to the agenda review. We can have them come to the agenda review and do that.
Well, what do you suggest? You determine this. He ain't running this.
Well,
Okay.
what we really need to do.
You want me to leave?
No.
Okay.
I mean, this is the purpose of discussion.
Right,
You know what I mean?
okay.
So, I'm going to take his opinion and listen to it as well as
All
yours, Councilman Martin. But the thing
Okay.
is that due to the time constraints, I think that when we do have our agenda review, maybe we can. You
There's
think
a
that
letter, the lady who signed the letter, if, you guys.
we can reach out and see if she can
reach
come
out
and
to her
explain what the
see,
program?
or one of the engineers or the experts.
That works.
Is that a fair compromise, Councilman Martin?
Yes.
So we can let's have a motion to move this out of it. It's gonna go to agenda review at that time that we can schedule because I don't see a copy of the letter from,
Okay.
we didn't receive
It's a
that.
big document, so you don't have it in your email.
Okay,
If you want a
okay.
hard copy, just let me know.
You know I'm a hard copy person, Dr. Guy.
He's one
You know
hard
that?
copy.
All right, so
Old
this
school.
legislation ordinance number 1616. Ordinance 1616, we're gonna go ahead and move that out.
So moved. I vote that be moved. Aye. Just
All in
move.
favor, aye.
Yeah. All right.
Ready.
That's it, right?
That's it. Let me get some other stuff.
No, Arco recycling. No, that's it. That's it.
Right, I was discussing that.
What's it for my
Okay, so we're gonna do ARCO recycling. This is an update. They've been out there. Now, there is a memorandum that we received from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency. They've been out all this summer actually inspecting ARCO. And he's been so far compliant. However, there's some things that are really interesting in the EPA's best management practices that I think that we need to know firsthand if they are abiding by every single workday, such as the receiving and unloading, their temporary storage and processing, the removal, description of all working services. So we don't have anything in the city that if we wanted to say, okay, let's go out and inspect what ARCO is doing or what's going on. There's nothing that I think that's within the city that's going to be the one all go-to besides community development. Now, prior I tried to have community development do an abatement of nuisance outlined in chapter 1313 of the charter. Each time the administration has come back and stated that he's compliant, which does not answer the question of abatement of nuisance and what a nuisance is as defined by the charter. So we're going to revisit this abatement of nuisance. What I think would be a good thing, because we can go to different parties of, I'm correct, law director, not only community development, but also the fire chief, public safety, which would include so all of these individuals in the administration, what I'd like to do is get a letter out to initiate the process of abating the nuisance that ARCO poses to the residents of Noble Road, which is the smells, the sounds, the debris that they feel as though, or that I've seen.
Even the air quality.
The air quality, which is being addressed, but we do know that things fall between the cracks in the wayside. So what we're going to do is initiate this I'm going to send a letter to all persons listed under the charter applicable to initiate this process. But I think, and if I can get an opinion from my colleagues, if we were able to maybe get a petition started or some documentation following that letter to community development from the residents that are impacted, I'm wondering if maybe that will then incline the community development to actually initiate the process, seeing, you know, what are the problems that people are having over there, to find out what kind of ailments that they're having, if there are any at all, how their quality of life has gone down as a result of that. Any individual that may want to, the businesses that are in front of ARCO, how are they affected? There's an individual that's trying to build I guess it's a restaurant, right in front of the facility. How is his business going to be affected, and whether the facility itself will pose as a nuisance.
Toxic dust.
Also, there's the problem with the contract itself. July of 2016 is when ARCO should have beautified the property, and I guess we need to have an understanding of what beautification is to ARCO versus what beautification is by city standards. I was told a while ago that the front of ARCO, which faces Euclid, that is a firewall, so that's necessary. But I was told that it would be seeded and that it would be pine trees, and there would be I forgot, I believe it was, I don't think it's 20-foot fence, but there was supposed to be fencing, and I was assured that that would take place. That hasn't taken place to date.
What? Really?
And as far as any type of contact with ARCO, they've been less than forthcoming as far as any type of response. And I did talk to Riley, who stated that he's no longer affiliated with ARCO as far as its day-to-day management or running of the facility.
But he's got his own company now.
So that I don't know as far as that. But as far as ARCO is concerned, they are compliant. And so what we need to do, because there's such a thing as home rule, our ordinances and our charter is what we go by. If we can enforce this, and mind you, it's not that, what we need to do is have a happy compromise, a compromise between the residents at this point, because he's there, or the facility is there at this point. So we want to make sure that the needs of our residents haven't, I don't believe that they've been listened to. I don't believe that people really have taken their concerns serious. So now that we have that avenue to abate the nuisance or that process, I really want to know, Law Director, is there any way that we can make sure that this is a priority for community development, that they'll actually initiate and go through the steps of physically going to the facility and actually doing an abatement of nuisance?
I appreciate the residents' concern as well as your efforts on behalf of the residents to research and investigate and look into this situation. I know that the Ohio EPA representative, I think